The sounds of battle are approaching. The machinery roaring, ground shaking, fire exploding mayhem of the Lucas Oil Pro Pulling League is set to erupt for the Battle at the Fort. Be there for all the action June 4th and 5th for the Battle at the Fort at Ford Recovery Ambassador Park in Port Recovery, Ohio. Watch the best pulling drivers in the nation go to war on the track with all the dirt slinging action of the Champions Tour classes. Tickets are just $22. Kids 11 and under are free. For more info, call 419-852-4361 or visit FordPool.com.
Helping them out down there on the track. Now these turbines, these are 3P55 turbine engines, which you find in an Apache helicopter. The Rhino Ag Judge Next Generation. Now this year he finished up number 8 in points. Very consistent runner. Now last night they actually made their run on 2 of the engines as they left the starting line. They had problems with one of the main shafts on one of the engines. So it looks like they talked with this afternoon. They said they got everything sorted out. So we look for a full pass here. Judge Next Generation tractor out of Western Ohio. Very hard to clear for takeoff. Oh, excellent run right there.
Nice run. Our current leader, 295 and 87, Wayne Sullivan.
Yeah, you can see fist pump down there into the track. Derek, they've had a lot of ups and downs with this tractor in the last couple seasons, and good to see him make a nice pass out there.
I think that pass that he did right there, Dan, may be good enough to move our leader pylon. Needed to go in.
Welcome everybody to Let's Grow Pulling. It's Monday, May 31st, and it feels like summer is here. I felt like social media was just jamming with updates and stuff all weekend long from polls. Again, every Monday night, this distinguished panel of guests, and I say distinguished, Leroy, because that's a nice way of calling you old, is brought to you by the Outlaw Truck and Tractor Pulling Association, and they are the sponsor of Let's Grow Pulling. We have a special guest tonight, Derek Bargee. We're going to go into their pulling family history. It's awesome. And then we're going to talk about Fort Recovery, Ohio, this coming weekend, June 4th through the 5th, big 2-day pull. And I know it's a big pull. I know Fort Recovery is well known because whenever we post a question anywhere on social media, what are some of your favorite pulls in Ohio? Besides the obvious Bowling Green, Fort Recovery always comes up. So I'm going to turn it over to the distinguished Leroy. We got Charles Pooch down there in the middle, Paul Romack at the bottom right, Paul Romack. Zolik says he's ugly tonight, so he's just going to stay on audio. And then we're going to do our thing. So, Leroy, Derek, take it over, buddy.
Hey, Derek. So all the questions are not going to be as easy as this very first softball question, but let's just get this out of the way. Your last name is spelled B-A-R-G-A, but that's not how it's pronounced. So tell us the correct pronunciation of the last name.
Yeah, well, the Bargee name is French, and it was originally an E, and then changed it over to an A, but it's pronounced Bargee, B-A-R, and then G-E. So appreciate you asking. There's always been confusion for as long as I can remember growing up, even in my own school. With as many Bargees went through the school system, they still sometimes had trouble saying that.
We just figured you did that just to mess with tractor pull announcers with track announcers.
Yeah, there's only been a couple butcher it.
Okay, so now here comes softball question number 2. All right.
All right. I'm ready.
The power plant on the Judge Next Generation, is it a turbine? Are they turbines or are they turbines?
I just call them turbines.
Turbines, okay.
Yeah, not a turbine, but I guess you're probably right though. You'd probably say it's a turbine instead of a turbine, but
well, that's no different.
You talk to somebody that's
all the especially on the diesel pickup guys, they always refer to the exhaust side of a turbocharger as the turbine, and it makes my skin crawl because I've always said turbine.
Well, I've always said turbine as well too. So, all right, the reason we brought you on, as Jason said when we started the show, we want to learn more about the Bargy family, the history of your polling, but also we got a big event this weekend. Lucas Oil is actually going to be at 2 locations this weekend. We're going to be in Nashville, Illinois at the Track at Holes Hours for the Southern Illinois Showdown. We'll talk about that later, but we're going to have the Champions Tour there, the Silver Series, and the Western Series at the Track at Holes Hours. That's Saturday night only, but Friday and Saturday, 2-day pull, we're going to be in Fort Recovery, Ohio, the Battle of the Fort. Champions Tour, we're going to have the mini rods, we're going to have the super stock diesel trucks, unlimited super stock tractors, and then of course we're going to have the super modifieds. We can't have a pull at Bargy's track without having the super modifieds. In the Silver Series, the light pro stock tractors, and in the Midwest region, the super modified 2-wheel drive trucks. So last week we had on Pat Mosley, and the thing about Pat Mosley is he's the promoter of the Show Me Shootout in Milan, Missouri. We were talking about the bad luck that he's had. So last week we were talking that he's tried to have that event 5 years, and 3 out of the 5 years it's been rained out. Well, year number 6, he got rained out again this year. You had kind of similar luck there at Fort Recovery on your event there, Derek.
Yeah, seems like the last couple of years with our event. I mean, last time we had a poll, our poll at Fort Recovery was 2018. Then 2019 we got rained out, and then we had last year's, full blown. Pretty much everything was canceled in 2020. But even prior to that, we've had issues with rain, just like anybody else, but, more so, I guess, we fell in that window in early June where there's still those, really 50-50 chance of rain and pop-up showers that really can knock you out. When we first started our event, though, we had it towards the end of June, and that definitely was a key factor in us to have a poll every year, where you started to hit that dry spell. And so very this year, I guess the weather's looking promising, but we're real thrilled to try to have another event. And but I just wanted to say, Nashville, I've heard a lot of good things about that track down there, and the thing you do here as a puller by different tracks, and you always go. It seems like obviously we're all spread out, and pretty much once you get in some place, your class or whatever, you're pretty much, that's where you're going to be stuck for many years to come.
Well, I've been opening up all the weather apps on my phone, and Fort Recovery, Ohio looks good for Friday and Saturday. So I think that we're going to get your event in this year, Derek.
That'd be great. Well, I'll take your word to the bank.
Yeah,
and we'll cash it in.
So 2 years ago was supposed to be the debut, very first event on Lucas Oil Racing TV of a live stream of a Champions Tour event. So we, over the past several years, we've had numerous replays on MAV TV and NBC Sports Network and whatever the case might be. But 2 years ago in 2019, John Mears called me. It was about maybe a month and a half before your event, and says, "Hey, I need you to add an event to your schedule." And I said, "What's that?" And he said, "I need you to add Fort Recovery, Ohio, first weekend in June." He said, "But you're not going to be announcing to the crowd." I said, "Oh, really?" And so I okay, whatever. I'll do whatever you need me to do. And he said, "No." He goes, "We're going to do that one live on TV. It'll be a live pay-per-view." And so I was all pumped up about that, having the very first event on Lucas Oil Racing TV, and of course it got rained out. But you might be an answer to a trivia question someday. So our very first live stream event was Goshen, Indiana, and my very first in-studio guest was Derek Bargy. You remember that?
I sure do. That's funny, as I was working on stuff earlier today for the poll and writing up stuff for John and Christy for then the email out later this week. And I was using the 2019 paper and how it said, this is going to be the first event live streamed on, tractor pull wise, live stream, on Lucas Oil Racing TV. So now I turned it around, and it's going to be the first tractor pull live streamed on MAV TV Plus.
That's right. That is right. Because now Lucas Oil Racing TV is now transitioned over to MAV TV Plus. So
yeah.
There we go.
So we're still the first.
But I do want to thank you because obviously Goshen is one track, okay? And so we have an average of 4 or 5 minutes between each hook. And here was the very first event that we did live on the Lucas Oil Racing TV. I was nervous, and I had you in there, and then also, and then later Jeff Hodem came on there, and Jeff Hodem, he's never at a loss for words, and so it sure made my first live stream go over a lot better having both you and Hodem in there joining me on the broadcast. So I want to thank you for that. So hey, we want to talk about the. Go ahead.
It threw you under the bus, sort of say, at that first one, because things were not obviously as smooth as they were, later in the year, even, for you. So that first event was pretty rough. A lot of R&D.
Oh man, I was nervous. So anyway, let's talk about the history of the Bargy family. First of all, let's talk about Derek Bargy himself. Jason, if you can throw up there the family picture. Talk about Derek and your family there. Beautiful picture. I know this is from 2 years ago. We didn't lose you, did we?
No, there it is. I was just coming in slow on my end. My slow internet. No, that is us 2 years ago, and now we have a newborn. Just had our third child, just 12 days ago.
Outstanding,
little baby girl.
Congratulations. So Derek and his wife.
So thank you. Yeah.
Rachel, correct?
Yes, that's my wife Rachel in the picture, and our oldest son Christian. He's now 6, and the little one there is Samuel, and he's 2 years and 3 months old. And then we just, again, 12 days ago, had a baby girl named Raylyn. So,
well, congratulations to you and Rachel, and we'll have to get an updated picture. So as I look at I tried to do some homework prior to the show here tonight, looking at the Bargy family polling over the years. Looking at Allisons and turbines, 2 turbines, 3 turbines, excuse me. There I go calling it turbines. 2 turbines, 3 turbines, 4 turbines, 5. We had back in 1970 through 72, I think your dad pulled a Chevy powered, modified for a number of years there. We had the Renegade semi, Kenworth semi. So let's take a look at some of these pictures. There's an old picture of the Judge. There's the Renegade semi.
Yep. There's a old dusty Dover. That's Mike Holden's tractor.
Okay.
There's 4 Allisons on that tractor there.
And there's the jury. So go back to that picture right there. So we've got the judge, and then here we got the jury.
Yep. So that one's he's got that one.
How'd you come up with the names on these tractors, or how did Dad come up with the names on these tractors?
Well, the first one, the judge, that one came about from the 1969 Pontiac, and they nicknamed it the Judge, and it had an orange color with a black pinstripe on it. So that's where he kind of got the color scheme and the name for the tractor, the Judge. And then after that, then kind of took off from there. Obviously, you have the Judge, so then he went with the jury. We talked about doing like on the Renegade, the truck, maybe calling it the Renegade, go with the Executioner or something like that. But we did it. But and then so that's in the 70s there. That's probably the mid to late 70s there, probably like 77 or something, 78, before I was born.
And what do we have here? We go to the turbines.
Yeah, that's where we went with 5 T53 motors, the engines there. And that's probably 2001. That could have been the very first year with that tractor.
2001,
early 2000s.
Yeah, I'm showing about 2001 and 2006 is when you had the 5 turbines.
Correct. Yep.
And then there you go. You know what I love about this picture? This picture here, you look on the background, you see the people sitting up on the grass up on the hill. You see grain elevator there in the background.
Yep.
This is just like Americana right there, you know, from the tractor pull perspective.
And everybody instantly knows where that is too.
Yep, that's what I was going to say. Yep. So that is, again, Dusty Diamond, and that tractor was called Orange. So Dusty Diamond pulling team was originated by Mike Holden out of Marietta, Ohio. And my dad started driving for Mike in the late 80s, about 80, 87 or something.
Yeah, I was going to ask about that. The Bargy family didn't actually own this tractor, but your dad was kind of the hired gun for driving, correct?
Correct. Yep. So, yeah, because in 1985, the Twin Allison judge went to Ahoy, Holland for the Ahoy Super Pole, and then he left it over there. He sold it and took that money to invest in the farm, so he didn't lose the farm. So we didn't pull for there for a couple of years, and then Mike talked my dad into pulling again, and so then we've been back in it ever since.
And then Jason, throw up a picture of the Apache. There you go.
Oh, the weight on the front of that thing. Holy cow.
Yeah.
So, yeah, then we built that tractor in, I want to say 09. I think it was the first year. So, yeah, we bought some engines off of Gardner Stone, and they were the T55, and they were 7C model engines, which now we have one 7C, and the two on the outside are 11Ds that we have now. But we started out with all 7Cs and until we upgraded. But yeah, that's obviously a Champions Tour event. I'd say there because beside us is I think Texas Bullwhip, Don Nelson from Texas. I think they were.
Primarily competes with the Outlaw truck and tractor pulling the series now.
Yep.
And then we get back into the Judge tractors. Got there's the Judge with the Allisons.
Yeah, that first one we showed was back at the fort again. That's in the 90s. And then so the Apache, when we first built it, we've upgraded it to, we changed we put another frame under it, which was actually originally American Thunder and Bill Vorey's frame, and then Larry Pekarski and Holy Cow tractor, he had it, and then the frame underneath it now is that frame. So the Apache then just became the Judge with Ion Camera and Springfield Armory, and now Rhino Ag colors.
So yeah, so we had pictures there from all over there. We had some Rodney Crum pictures. This here's Ryan Rusink. That Ryan's not with us tonight. He's normally on the show with us every Monday night, Derek. So
okay.
Bruce, if you're watching, we're using some of your pictures. I think that's another Rusink picture right there. So so the Judge next generation, does that kind of you added the next generation where your dad kind of passed it down to his sons, or how'd the next generation come forward there?
Yeah, you got that right, Leroy. And in 2014, he finally, my dad said, just you boys take it over, and he's mainly going to try to pull, started looking into alcohol super stocks and started mainly just running that. And so that's when he decided he was done and bought a Larry Roberts alcohol super, and we called it Dad's Toy. And he's had some really good runs with that tractor, and hey, even at times when it doesn't want to run right, we eventually sometimes find a nut, and it can lay down a run. This year lately, they were chasing our tail a lot with the ignition system. Seems like no matter what we change on it, it still doesn't want to act right. But hopefully, we'll get it right, and we'll make some great passes here at Fort Recovery this coming weekend.
Yeah, I know you guys brought it out to Farley, Iowa last August, and you guys were fighting some gremlins with that thing out there at 300 Raceway.
Yes, we were. Again, just chasing different things. Sometimes just all over the place with some different things. But we believe we got it all ironed out, and we're looking to put it together. We're real happy. Obviously, he's been working on a new tractor, which he called the original Judge, and it was making its first pass in Benson and making a real nice pass. And I think driver was surprised it was going as well as it was, and caught him off guard, and he touched that chalk line. But we felt like he could have had a nice top 5 finish as fast as he was moving.
Well, we showed it. We threw a picture up there real briefly earlier, but in addition to running the Allisons and the turbines and the Case IH Dad's toy, your brother Jeff, I think from 2004 to 2012, also campaigned at Kenworth.
Yeah, that's so that's my uncle actually.
Oh, your uncle. Okay, I'm sorry. All right.
No, you're fine. Yeah, well, it's not easy to keep track of.
I'm sure his last name gets mixed up too, but here's the Renegade.
Yeah, so my uncle Jeff, and then my oldest brother Randy. Mainly those two were the ones campaigning that truck, and so yeah, they had a lot of fun. It obviously had some learning curves at the beginning to figure things out, but once they got it figured out, it could make some really nice passes. They had a lot of fun with it, and just towards the end there, again, it's not up high priority list, and just takes a lot of money to keep up. And they had people interested in buying the motor and different things, so they sold that.
I think the best that looking at back to the historical finishes, that 2005 was the best year that they finished 6th in the NTPA Grand National standings in the semis, the 20,000 pound semis. So I think 2005 is the best year there for the Renegade. But I'm not for sure what year you were born, Derek, but I want to go way back here to the mid 70s. I looked at what your dad did back in 1975. He was the NTPA Grand National Champion in the 9,000 mod and also the 12,000 mod. Let's go 1 year later, 1976, the NTPA Grand National Champion, 9,200 mod and 12,200 unlimited. 1 year later, NTPA Region 2 Champion in 1977 in the 12,200 pound unlimited. And then the 78, that was a special season for him. Region 2 Champion, 9,200 mod, Region 2 Champion, 12.2, National NTPA Grand National Champion with a jury and with the 12.2, and also NTPA Grand National Champion with the 9,200 mod. So if you weren't then, you were probably pretty young in your lifetime that you wouldn't remember that, would you?
I was born in 81.
81. Okay, I was going to say
he enjoys talking about those run of years there when they just pulled all over the place and had a lot of fun. And he reminisces about those days every once in a while. And yep, he does mention those were some special times, some special seasons, a lot of luck, and just a different time than it is now. I mean, obviously it's kind of turning back that way where a lot more families are going again. And, that's what I grew up with, is you just ran around with the kids, when you show up, you ran around, you played in the dirt, and, and so we're finally getting back to that a little bit with, I think, the Champions Tour and different places. But,
well, you're talking about some of the places that he pulled. I mean, let's just look at 1976, some of his wins. Eustis, Florida, Tifton, Georgia, Ocala, Florida, Raleigh, North Carolina, Frederick, Maryland, Monroe, Michigan, Syracuse, New York, Kentland, Indiana, Kankakee, Illinois, Hamburg, New York, Lima, Ohio, Indianapolis, Indiana, Fort Recovery, Ohio, Indiana, Pennsylvania, Poplar Bluff, Missouri, Lake Crystal, Minnesota. So put some miles on the hauler that year.
Yes, they did. And that's where, we had Norm Smith, and there's been other people that helped, but I know Norm was definitely instrumental during that time where depending on what was going on the farm, Dad couldn't go. I mean, Norm took it out, and they had different guys that would, take it one way and they would come back. And then, my dad and somebody else would take it for the weekend, and because, there was a lot of miles in between, a lot of hooks. So,
yeah. Well, one track that's been good for you guys, I see back in 2015 and 2016, there at the Lucas Oil Speedway in Wheatland, Missouri, that you guys were the Super Unlimited modified champions there, or the winner there of those events back-to-back years.
Yeah, the super stock class.
Let's see here.
Yeah, I think my dad would. Yeah, he won it back.
8,000. You're right, 8,000 unlimited super stock. I guess I just assumed that would have been the Judge Next Generation.
No, we have not been lucky enough to win out there. I've gotten third a handful of times. I just have never. I thought last year I had second wrapped up until Ricky beat me by a foot last year, but no, yeah, and that's the thing with that tractor that Dad's toy. It's a good running machine. It is very, Brent Long knows what he's doing. Roberts took care of it, and as long as we can get it to run, it'll run and make great passes. That's one thing. I've driven 2 alcohol super stocks, or 3, I guess you could say, but I've driven triple X of the Keeners and then Dad's toy, and both of those I only made 1 or 2 trips on triple X, but just barely used the brakes. Just maybe one time, and on Dad's toy I made multiple trips, and maybe one time I had to push the brake hard. I mean, those tractors go straight. You point it straight, it's going to go that way unless you really hit something in the track. But they go nice and straight, and so that's one thing I like about those tractors. They typically you don't have to work too hard to make sure you stay in the white lines.
So we discussed this on the show here, I don't know, 2 or 3 weeks ago at the Gordiwana, the Midwest Winter Nationals at Shipshewana this year. Josh Blackburn was up there and knew we didn't have no super stock or alcohol class up there for him. I said, "What are you doing up here?" And he said that he was pulling somebody's super farm tractor, 9,300 pound super farm. So when he got done, I said, "How was that? What'd you think of that?" And he kind of a PG-13 show here. He said that was effing boring. He said, "I was waiting for it to take off." He said that was boring. He said, but
I can believe that's what he would say, because those supers they'll get up and go and have especially his tractors. Those tractors got some definitely big tire speed, and that's one thing. The Judge, after many years of driving a modified, it's amazing now how everything slows down, and I can recall every single thing that happens on most trips, unless something is unprecedented that happens. But most of the time, I can recall everything. And then you jump in the alcohol super; it's just a little bit slower, but it's still a fun ride. It's a very fun ride.
So, who decides on who gets to pull on which night between you and your brother?
Well, I am the lucky one that gets in the seat. I guess I've always, for some reason, I don't know, I somehow just talked my way into getting this time years ago, and so now it just falls to me because I have the most seat experience.
Yeah.
But that typically now, it kind of just gets passed on that I'm going to drive unless I'm not there. Everybody has their role on the pulling team, and I've been very fortunate that mine is the driver, but I also do sharpen the tires and get a little dirty every once in a while.
So does it take a person with a special temperament to be able to tinker with the turbine tractors? Because it seems like they're either on or they're off, or, as far as getting hooked up at the line, getting hooked up at the starting line and making a good pass. It seems like the turbine machine itself is extremely temperamental.
Yeah, I mean, that is the biggest thing, is that groove of, getting hooked up to make the best pass possible. It's been a journey. I tell you that. It's been a journey. We, in the state level, it was, once we got it figured out, we kind of had it figured out that it would just make pass after pass. Once you know the tracks and know the sled, and then, it seems like now with more power, it's more difficult because we can one wheel so much easier than we used to with just the state setup, because we have so much more power. So the biggest thing is for setup, and you got to be. We don't have much, I guess, air. We can, if we're in the wrong direction of air, if we're way ahead on the throttle and leaving too hard at the starting line, we can one wheel, and our run is pretty much over. I mean, we're going to be, if we one wheel, we're going to be at least 30, if not, sometimes even 100 foot back from the winner. Where the V8, they're going to be maybe 30 foot back, but they're not going to be 100 foot back like we will. We just lose all kinds of momentum if we one wheel and got to get out of the throttle and get back into it. It really hurts our run. One thing I will say, these new tires, the Mitas, that right now we still have one wheel, but I feel like they've helped. I'm very confident now. Every time I go up, I'm very confident that we can lay down a nice run and compete. And I mean, last year was top 5, and this year now we got 15 of us. I mean, I'm just hoping for a top 10.
Yeah.
This year, I mean, it puts you on edge. You got to be ready to go. But back to kind of what you're saying, a certain temperament of a person driving, or even a team, it's patience. It's sometimes you really got to bang your head against a wall. One puller in a 2-wheel drive class one told me, "Are you guys tired of dealing with just the nonstop, issues of this or that, or just not competing?" I mean, there's times, we bang our head. We thought about selling the tractor, to tell you the truth. We thought about selling it. We had some other pullers that have moved on and not pulling anymore in our class tell us, "You guys are closer than we ever were." They felt like we were closer, and give us some confidence that way. But I think we're heading in the right direction. I'm really hoping this year. I mean, we had issues the first event, that happens, but we're really looking forward to what we can do here in 21.
Now, if you've watched our Monday night show here in the past, we always have a segment that we ask a little bit later toward the end of the interview, but this is probably a good time as any to ask this. It's the basically what and where, that if you could park the Judge Next Generation off to the side and go back, you can either do it present day or go back in time, pick any pulling vehicle and any track, what would you like to hop in the seat of, and where would you like to pull it?
Wow. That's wow. There's been a lot of tractors. I don't know. I was always really impressed and at awe of the Country Girl 4-engine mod. I don't know why that thing ran and would compete with those 5-engine, 6-engine tractors. That thing, I don't know. They just had that thing running on kill, and that thing would scream. And there's a lot of times, obviously, at Fort Recovery, that's where I'd go see it at. So either at the Fort or at maybe BG. That's one tractor back there in the 80s and early 90s.
And we got
but even with that,
I don't know if you can read the questions down there at the bottom, Derek. It says, Brad Caldwell says, it was a shame that it didn't start up night 1 in Benson, but it was awesome seeing it go down the track on night 2.
Yeah, it was. I was watching, and I was, disappointed. But yep, that's part of it. That's part of it.
So let's talk about front recovery a little bit again. Obviously, the Pro Pulling League event is this weekend, Friday and Saturday night. Now, later on in the year, NTPA has an event there too. Is that correct?
Correct. Yep, the Ambassador Club. Years ago we got started with them. They approached us and they wanted to see if we move our pull up there. And to us, it was kind of a no-brainer. I mean, again, beginning of the show, you guys talked about, if you bring up forward recovery, or Pull in Ohio. I mean, that's someplace it's well known. I mean, and they in one pull and literally moved on to Urbana, and they've been trying to fill that. And we were happy to move up there, and now this year it used to be obviously the highest state benefit pulling, and we kind of bowed out as a group. But myself and my brother Ron and two of my brothers, I mean, we're going to be up there working. But Ron and I help throughout the year, promoting and getting stuff ready for this event. And then my brother's working back. But yeah, we're looking forward to bringing a great show in. Everybody's class act, and to follow up Benson, where everybody, I thought that was a great show. I mean, there were some tractors that didn't run. Ours in particular didn't run, but I guess the first event, the majority of the vehicles made some well of passes. I think the crowd got their money's worth, and I'm really hoping we can do the same thing for recovery this Friday and Saturday. Again, I mean, it's $20 pre-sale. I'm glad you brought that up. $20 pre-sale right now online. To OhioStatePull.com. Get your pre-sale tickets, because at the gate it's $22, and a weekend pass is $44. They have camping for $30, first come first serve, and for electric, and $15 with no electric. So it's pretty cheap to camp. Again, it's going to be a great weekend. Like you guys said, it's Friday, Saturday. It's going to be 80 and I think 85. Perfect weather to get out and drink some beer and watch some tractor pulling.
Hey, Jason, if you can throw up that picture from the PPL banquet from 2018, I believe it was. Your event, right there you go. Your event was named the PPL event of the pulling year that year in 2018.
Yeah. Yep. That was our, I think it might have been our first year, actually, when we moved up there. And we were very fortunate. I had a great show that was filmed and then recorded and put on MAV TV, ran some shows later. So yeah, on the left is my nephew, Zach, which is Galen's son, he's there in the back. And then the front row is my dad, Ron, and my mom, Doris. And then the right there is Sally. That's my brother Galen's fiance. And then I'm there between my mom and dad in the back. And then beside me is Dale Brunswick. He's an Ambassador Club member. And then Matt Forkamp and John Kaffenbarger. There's three representing the Ambassador Club there.
Now, did you guys know prior to the banquet that you were going to be bestowed upon this honor, or was that a surprise?
That was a complete surprise. We were sitting there at the table talking, and they started talking about it, and we were looking at each other, and we were like, yeah, next year, because it was our first year, we knew we could do better. So next year we're going to do better. And then they started reading off kind of like, well, this event has moved around and this has happened. And we're like, wait a second. And yeah, it's complete shock. It's a testament to the Ambassador Club. They work and what we do, and just, we try to do everything we can possible to put on a great show, move it along quickly for the fans that want to come and spend, time there, because you don't want people sitting there for 5-6 hours. We try to, six classes, and trying to get it, under 4 hours. That way people can enjoy it and walk out wanting more. That's the biggest thing. They walk out wanting more. That's the biggest thing we can do.
Okay, we're gonna throw up some pictures here. Show the picture of Derek and Rachel there at the banquet. Oh, okay. We'll go. Okay, there we go. So there's Derek and Rachel. Was this also 2018 or is this 2019 at Louisville or?
I don't know. I have to go back to see what I was wearing in the family. That could have been that year in 2018. Nope, because that's a different tie. It looks like.
Yeah, it must be 2019. This is, I think that was at Louisville when we moved to the banquet to the downtown Marriott. So.
Yep. So yeah, it was 2019 then. Yeah. Yep.
That's pretty cool how they put that backdrop up there so all the guests can get their picture taken in front of that. Okay, so go ahead, Schultz. Go ahead there. Okay.
Yep.
So
honeymoon.
Okay.
Honeymoon.
So,
now
here's the picture after that. Explain this picture.
That. Paul, what are you laughing about?
What? I'm just trying to figure out what happened here. Who threw who in the mud first?
Well, we both got in. It was a lot of fun. So I tell you, when you get married, you think you know somebody and you don't quite know for sure. But on the honeymoon, I knew I married the right woman. On the morning that we're supposed to go on this excursion, it is downpouring, and we're supposed to get on a boat and go, 20 miles. And she's like, we're going, she didn't feel that well. And, we obviously are honeymoon. So, drinking a little bit, but the next morning she's like, no, we're going. We get out there. It's pouring down rain. They're like, if you don't want to go, you can go back. And she's like, we're going. So we were the first couple to get on, and we had a great time. We were in St. Lucia, and we went hiking and went to a sulfur mine and stuff, and so it's basically a mud pit, and you get in the mud pit, and so you make you smell like sulfur, and then you got in the waterfall that was like 40 degrees and rinsed off. But
so this was the second picture. We had them in the wrong order then.
Yes, that was the second. That's after that's getting rinsed off there.
There we go. All right. Now what's up with this now? Dan Dockich, seriously?
Yeah. What? Is he too volatile of personality for you?
Now, there's another picture of myself that I was going to throw in with this. That I was going to say you and I had something in common. We both had our picture taken with former Indiana basketball coaches that didn't get retained, because I got a picture with Tom Crean. Tom Crean, when Illinois and Missouri played in the Border Wars game in St. Louis, Tom Crean did the color work on ESPN. So I got my picture with Tom Crean, and here's your picture with Dan Dockich. So
yeah, so I don't know. It's starting to catch fire a little bit. The basketball tournament, they call it. It's basically college alumni get together. They play for a $2 million prize. Anyway, winner take all. That's right, $2 million. It's crazy. So Columbus, Ohio was hosting, and Ohio State and Dayton were over there playing. So I went over there to watch and, see some old my favorites of Ohio State and watch some old favorites from Dayton Flyers. And Dan was doing color, so I went down and got a picture. I mean, like him or hate him, he does like to talk a lot, but he's an all right guy. He's just out doing his thing.
Yep. Okay, what about this one from Midnight Motorsports? Midnight Motorsports, 4-time champions. Turbines suck.
Yeah, that's an old one. That's from downtown.
I asked Jeremy, what's the backstory on this? He says, well, it's because that Derek had a message up prior to this one. So.
Yeah, so we went to the piano bar. That was the PPL hangout, the piano bar. And everybody would start throwing money up, and you can see $12 there. So the next person has to put up, I think, $12 or either more than $12 to change the sign. So if you want your sign to, your message to stay on the board, you're going to put some big money up. but yeah, I forget what I put up about them. But yeah, so he got me back good with that one. Yeah, I tell you what, that's another crew. I mean, and they have a great camp. All of them, all the Nelsons. I got so many of them over there, and really, obviously, lost a legend and John way too soon. And was a great man, and really, I didn't talk to him much, but I tell you what, you do talk to him a little bit, and it's hard to forget those conversations.
Absolutely. I agree 100%. In fact, that's why the Mumaw Nelson family was named Pulling Family of the Year, both on the PPL side and also here in Illinois at the ITPA. So there's another picture of the Battle of the Fort. One more picture. I think I sent it to Jason. I stole it from Leslie Mears. It was titled, "How many bargees can you fit in one ATV?" Do you have that picture, Jason? Or maybe I didn't send it to you.
Let me look for a little bit, Leroy.
Okay. All right. So anyway, wrapping things up here a little bit with Derek. So once again, this weekend, the Lucas Oil Pro Pulling League, we're going to be at 2 events. We're going to talk about Nashville here coming up real shortly, Nashville, Illinois. But we've been visiting with Derek Bargee. Fort Recovery, Ohio, Friday night, Saturday night, Fort Recovery, Ohio. Battle at the Fort 2021. Mini rods, super modifieds, super stock diesel trucks, unlimited super stock tractors from the Champions Tour. Light Pro stock tractors, the Silver Series, and then the super modified 2-wheel drive trucks, Midwest region 2-wheel drive trucks. So do we have any other questions from the panel for Derek, or maybe if Jason can find that picture,
I do have one, Leroy.
Yeah, go ahead, Paul.
So I'm kind of a diesel guy, and I'm curious to know, on one of these multi-engine turbines or turbines, whatever you want to call it, Charles, what is the maintenance program like? I mean, on a diesel, you're running the top end, you're making sure turbos haven't gone sideways on you, checking bearings. And I've always heard, we run a lot here in Illinois with the light mods, just single engines, 5,800 pounds. And a lot of these guys say, if they turn, they're good to go. They don't really have to do much to them, but they're running a lot smaller setup than what you guys are. What is a normal maintenance on a big unlimited mod like that for you guys?
Well, it's a little bit of the engine, but it's a lot of other little stuff that we have to check. I feel like our biggest thing is electrical stuff, which was kind of a problem we had the first weekend in Benson. We got issues. So we have 3 batteries on board to get 36 volts to start, and then we have some stuff for 12 volt and 24. The Geo it carries 6 batteries, so we can have in series 36 volts to help start when we're at the line. So there's just different electrical stuff. There's so many solenoids on that thing. But just making sure there's a lot of function plug in. There's a lot of our speeds. So, we can only turn them so fast before it's going to shut itself down. If those things are, because everything vibrates, so much vibration. It's not really going down the track, it's the vibration. It's all the traveling, right? Up and down the roads and the trailer. There you go. Jason found that.
Yeah, so Leslie, the caption on Leslie's picture was how many bargees can you fit in I think she said an ATV or side by side or something like that.
Yeah, that's our little Geo tracker that we have the batteries in. But yeah, I think that was down in Kentucky, performance, and it was raining. So I think one more of us might have jumped in there after the picture or something. But yeah, Paul. So the main thing is just checking a lot of connections, and we start with a sparker. Start get a little fuel to start it. So we got to make sure that's working right. Make sure our starters haven't broken any shafts. But as far as really the maintenance on them, if we suck a lot of dirt and dust through, this over and put some water through it. We do have some extra cleaner that'll do some foam, some foam cleaner, especially made, for turbines. But the maintenance is fairly low. Tire maintenance is typically a little bit more than the other mods, because when we spin out, the tires spin a little longer. So I'm usually every single run, I've got to touch the tires up. But they're really, the engines are low maintenance until you do some damage like we did. We had some a little bit too hot of some starts this season. Early in the season, because we're trying to figure out one engine yet, trying to get it to run properly. So we had some hot starts before we went down to Benson. Then we had a hot start down there, and so those blades were fatigued. So I don't know if you guys saw that. There was about a half inch of the blades all the way around inside the hot section there. They got tore up. So on that one engine that we got to get replaced.
Hey,
yeah,
before
you won't see us running the top end, checking valves or anything like that. So
before we let you go, Derek, I want to give you an opportunity to talk about two different companies here, okay? Number one, Rhino Ag and what they mean to your Judge Next Generation program, and also Ag Protect One. So you got the floor. So if you want to shine some spotlight on those two companies real quick. I know they're both very important to the Bargy family.
Yes, well, I appreciate that, Leroy. And thanks for having me on, first of all. Leroy and Jason, really appreciate what you guys are doing. And, I don't know Paul and Charles that well, but, Paul, really good luck with your poll. And hope everything goes well for you guys. But, again, appreciate you guys having me on. Rhino Ag, they approached us a couple years ago, and we had a sponsorship that time. But after that wore out, I got a hold of Rhino Ag again, and they've been tremendous. Want to be part of our team and get their name out there, and we want to get their name out there. They have a high quality product and mowers and other equipment lines. We got one of the mowers, and we were very pleased with it, what it does, and we're thrilled. Again, an agriculture company being involved in pulling, and then we're very happy and excited that they decided to join our team and be a part of our situation. And as we move forward, we're really hoping to, again, draw a little more attention on the positive side, get some top threes, get some wins, and really shine for that Rhino Ag Judge this year. And like you mentioned, Leroy, Ag Protect One, it came about, it started as a company with my brother and his business partner, Scott, and they involved me, and I really appreciate that opportunity. So Ag Protect One, we do motorsports insurance. So just, again, it goes right down into our avenue of what we do. So we provide property insurance that will cover the pulling vehicle and any spare stuff. So a lot of stuff, people think we have it under the farm policy, and the farm policies don't really cover that stuff. But we do offer motorsports insurance for obviously the pulling vehicle, any spare items you have, the trailer. We do auto and the toter. We do, again, down the line, we do obviously do the sleds and as well. So, and if any pulling association needs insurance, we do that as well. But really, really pleased with what we have done there. We do have over 200 pulling policies throughout the country, and really happy with that. And look, continue to want to provide coverage. If you don't want it, that's fine. We've been very fortunate that some people that have gotten covered and they've needed it, and I'm glad it's there. It's worked the way it's supposed to work. They didn't have any complaints, with the claim, and everything got taken care of like it's supposed to. And so that's the biggest thing. We have a product that there's no wishy-washy stuff when you actually go turn the claim in. There's no gray area, and it was taken care of the right way, and so we're proud of that, and that's what we want to hang our head on.
I think in Illinois, Scott Walker is the gentleman that represents our geographical area. Is that correct?
Well, Scott is he is one of the partners, and he talks with Mike Miller a lot. And Ag Protect One is a sponsor of ITPA,
Right.
And so, yeah, if anybody needs any motorsports insurance or anything like that, you will end up talking to me.
Outstanding. Okay, well, Derek, we appreciate you joining us for this last hour here. We'll be seeing you this weekend in Fort Recovery, Ohio. Like I said, we got another PPL event that we want to talk about. So you're feel free to join us to stay on, or if you want to disconnect and get your family to bed, whatever the case might be. I know you're an hour ahead of us. We used to start the show at 7 o'clock Central. We now start the show at 8 o'clock Central, which is 9 o'clock Ansonia, Ohio time. So appreciate you staying up late with us.
Oh, it's no problem. Yeah, he wanted to stay up, but he lasted, I think, 10 minutes into the show. Then he laid down and passed out.
He's out.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Derek, thank you very much.
Yeah, I appreciate it. And
this was your first visit to the show. Yeah, this is your first visit to the show, and we certainly hope it isn't your last. So you're welcome to join us anytime.
Absolutely.
I appreciate that. Thank you. And again, good luck to you guys the rest of the year, and good luck, Paul, this weekend. And thank you again. Thank you for having me on. Really appreciate it.
All right, we'll see you
Derek.
this weekend, Derek. All right, Paul Romack. Paul Romack's going to be making his announcing debut. I can't be at the Track and Holes Hours. I'm going to be at Fort Recovery, Ohio, doing it on MAV TV Plus. And so Eli Lisk, who's kind of the hometown announcer there in Nashville, and then Paul Romack will be up there in the announcer stand. So you guys got Saturday night only, the Southern Illinois Showdown, what I think that you guys are going to have a kick-ass class in that lightweight superstock tractor class with the Champions Tour. You got that. Silver Series, you got the 4-1 limited pro stocks, the pro stock diesel trucks. Brad Ingram, we had Brad and Brady on a few weeks ago. I know they're looking forward to that event. And then the Western Series, the 85 limited pros. So the 95 limited pros there, they're going to get dual points, Western Series and also Silver Series, and then also the light limited superstock tractors. So
Correct. So gates open at noon. Thanks, Short Fighting. So gates open at noon. Show starts at 7. Adults general admission are $15. Pit passes are $20, and it'll let you go in there and see. So if you want to come early and walk through the pits, you can definitely do that. You can come and check out all the tractors. There's no pre-advance or no pre-sale tickets available. You don't need that. All your tickets you can get at the gate, so you don't have to worry about that. Like Leroy said, we've got Champions Tour Light Supers. This one is one that they wanted to have some Champions Tour classes, and they brought these guys in, and everything is lining up to where we're going to see a fair number of the top light supers in the United States. Milan was canceled. I know a lot of them were going to try to run there. There was a couple other pools that have since been canceled. So we're expecting a really, really good show on the light supers. Of course, the 4-1s always bring, like last year at the shootout, which was a little bit different. They had 40 plus tractors there. 85 limited pros. I know the Washington County area is kind of a hotbed for the 85 limited pros, so you'll see a bunch of them there. The light limited supers have never been to Nashville. Same way with the 3.6 diesel trucks. They have had some diesel trucks there before, but not the 3.6s. So kind of a hometown, I guess you could say, pull for Brad and Brady. I know the Vays. I saw their Facebook. They're coming, so we'll see a good class of those. Pullers, if you're coming in, you can come in on the 4th. If you're coming in that night, if you're going to be in a little bit later after hours, get a hold of Brent Shorefighty or Brett Hockstadt or the number on the flyer. So when the haulers come in, this is kind of maybe a little different deal. Maybe some of you have been there, some of you have not. So you're going to get off on exit 50 on Interstate 64. You're going to head south on 127. It's the Nashville exit. So Oh, there's Dirk. Dirk's the kind of the track superintendent. He's the little guy running around there like chicken with his head cut off. But you're going to get off the interstate, head south into Nashville, and after the second stoplight, you're going to see a big car dealership, and the track is directly behind that. So whenever you come in, you're going to turn what looks like into a car dealership. There's a big wide road there, so you don't have to worry about getting too close to anything, but come in that way. There is a gate there that will be locked after hours, but we will have people on site to open the gate if need be. We just need to kind of have an idea of what time you're going to be there, and we will get you in the gate. Camping, if the haulers want to come in on the 4th, you can camp on the 4th, camp on the 5th. Shore Fighty brings up a good point. There is no ice on the ground. So you diesel truck guys, if you're running coolers, you're going to need to bring your ice with you. There is a big gas station a little ways off the interstate as you're going to pass it as you're coming in if you're coming off of 64. So make sure you bring your ice with you. There is none on the grounds. There was a little miscommunication out there. We've kind of heard some things. There are no full hookups. You can camp, but there are no hookups for the campers. So if you're coming, generator, or if you want to throw a tent out behind the hauler, whatever. But there are no hookups for the haulers there. But they are running 2 tracks. The track looks great. They haven't worked. They haven't opened it up yet. We've had a lot of rain here in the area, and there's tile under the track. And so far, the tile is not running. There's nothing coming out of it. So, and they were just put in, I think, 2 years ago. So when they open this up, they'll probably have to put water on it. The weather looks great. I think they're calling for a high of 85 on Saturday and a low in the low 60s. So that's going to be it's going to be perfect weather. But like I said, you don't have to worry about any pre-sale tickets or anything like that. Just come in, and there's plenty of parking for fans. They got vendors on site, or food vendor on site. So there's anything you need there. But it's a great facility. You're going to see some of the top light supers, top tractors in all classes in the country there this weekend. Brad Holzauer they got into pulling, and they have continued to promote and push this. They did the shootout last year, which was a huge success. So we also have one other thing that Shore Fighty's bringing up. If he had a good internet connection where he lives, he literally lives in like the black hole of internet just outside of Hoyleton. But there is a live stream as well, and Ryan's on here, and he can talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, absolutely. If Jason wants to walk through on that link they had on the Facebook page, we could do that quick. Yeah, so the link is on the Track at Holzauer's Facebook page, or you can go to whatsmoking.net, and there's the live stream tab, and then you'll see 2021 Southern Illinois Showdown. You click on that. That will take you to the main page, and there's instructions on there. I try to give as much information. Obviously, more people are starting to catch on with the live streaming and with the system that we use. There's a video that's from last year, but it still is the same concept. So as you continue to scroll down through there, Jason, this is just kind of some advice and just kind of how it works. So you'll have access to the live stream for a full year. You'll also, if you can't start it right as the poll is live, whenever you join, you can, what's nice about it is just like a DVR, so you can go right back from the beginning and start watching from the beginning, or you can wait till the end, or you can watch it the next day if you're at another event, but you have also access to it for up to a year as well. So it's $30. So that gives you access for one live stream. That's good for one device only. So if you try to log on to the live stream with another device after using it on a different device, it's not going to allow you to use that access code again as a security measure that's built in. So basically, if you watched last year during the shootout that we did last fall, or if you watched during the Midwest Winter Nationals, same concept. We'll have 2 cameras, possibly a third angle is what I'll try to get set up for this year. The announcer's feed will be right into it, so you'll get to hear Paul and Eli. So not only will everyone watching live in Nashville get to hear Paul, but around the world, Paul, you'll be heard live as your debut.
No pressure, buddy. No pressure.
There'll be the instant replays as well and graphics, those that are watching on the live stream with the distances. So basically very similar setup. Again, for $30, if you can't make it in person, really, really great deal. To just have if you're not in the Nashville area and watch in person, it'll give you an opportunity to kind of have those shot parties that we've seen with these live streams. And obviously with Fort Recovery going on, you could have both Fort Recovery and Nashville going on if you have someone tech savvy to put up 2 TVs, stuff like that. So.
Yes. So, yeah. One of the things too is on these live streams, we try to monitor if you have login issues. Ryan, what's the best way to message you, or is there a way to do that?
Yeah, it'll be just like it should be on that page. So it'll be on this page that Jason's on. It's just whatsmokinglivestream@gmail.com. And we try to monitor that. So if someone is having issues, I believe it should be somewhere on that page, right there. Yep. So, and on the confirmation, I believe if I have it set up right, it should be on there. But that's what you want to email. I know sometimes they'll message the Facebook page to track at Holes Hours, but to get direct contact, if you're having some type of technical difficulty, that's the fastest way so we can try to resolve it as fast as possible. So
yeah, and like I said, we try to make sure that we monitor that, or at least check it out. I know some people will have some issues, but if you can just bear with us, we'll try to get back with you. Don't go to pooloff.com and put on there that I can't access the thing. If you email them, we got a lot of stuff going on, but we will try to respond.
If you are having technical difficulties during the poll, we'll get you on. And you can go back and start from the beginning of the poll. So you're not going to really miss anything because you'll be able to actually watch it. It'll still be, obviously we'll be still broadcasting. So, you'll still get full access. It just won't be 100% live, but you'll, still get to see the full show. So yeah.
Go ahead, Ryan.
No, I was just going to say the fastest way that we know that you're having an issue is to that email. So, because we can't monitor every single social media site at the same time.
Correct. So yes, there will be two tracks going, 2 sleds running. I believe they are going to have a local class or 2. I'm not 100% sure on that, to try to get the track opened up a little bit prior to this show. I don't know if that's a for sure yet. I think that's what's happening because I believe Mr. Esden Bartling will be there with the Stars and Bars. But plenty of seating. Brad has put some grandstands in. I know he put some new ones in last year prior to the shootout. There's grandstands on both sides. The one side, on the pit side, you do have to buy a pit pass to get over there. But once you get on that side of the track, you're able to go and see all the tractors, all the haulers, walk through. Encourage you to bring your kids. 10 and under are free for general admission. If they do come into the pits, they do have to buy a pit pass. That's an insurance thing. We don't have a choice in the matter, but bring them in. There's going to be some of the top iron in the United States there. Bring your kids and don't be afraid to approach these haulers. If the tractors are sitting out and you want to go see one, The guys that own these tractors, they build them to go, but they also build them to show, and they love showing them off. They love talking to kids. So bring your kids, take pictures, post it to your social media, post it to Beer Money, or message us on Facebook and let us know. We'll put it out there. Shorefighting did just confirm the Illinois Hot Farm 12,000 pound, 12 mile an hour, and 9,000 hot farms are going to run first. They're going to run one on each side. And those guys are really good. We do this a lot down there. It just helps to open up the track, kind of get things worked in. And those guys love pulling in front of the big crowds too. So, and there, you'll see some pretty good pulls there, but we'll run one class on each track. And then at 7 o'clock, we'll start the show. And I don't know what the lineup is going to be. Hasn't been determined yet, but
that will be determined that day of.
Yes. And all I know is that we're going to see a lot of trucks and tractors. It's going to be a great time.
I just want to, mention for anyone, we'll obviously be doing the September poll at Nashville, and then we are also doing the Mound City Rumble by the Refuge poll coming up. That's what you kind of see on the tabs there on whatsmoking.net. And when we're doing a live stream for an event, 100% of the ticket sales goes directly to the promoters. So for those that might be interested, wondering. When it's through us, we set it up where it's all the ticket sales goes right to the promoters for when we're doing a live stream for an event. So
another important thing that people always ask about that I overlooked is they ask about beer sales. Is there going to be beer on site? No, there is not, but you can bring coolers in. They ask that you don't bring big coolers. If you want to just be responsible about it. If you want to go back to the car and get some more reload or whatever, just be responsible. Make sure you have a driver. But you can bring your coolers in. Just like I said, because of the grandstand, you don't want a bunch of them in the grandstands taking up a bunch of room. Feel free to bring coolers.
I got a question for Jason Schultz. Jason, your mic's muted, but okay, there you go. Are you still waiting on parts for the Remedy, or will the Remedy be making its 4-1 limited pro stock debut this year, the new wrap?
Still waiting on parts. So I'm hoping. I was told today I'll have everything, not this week, but next week. So, if the stars line up, maybe I'll be in Paris and Fayette. I don't know. We'll just have to see how it goes. I planned on being in Dubuque last weekend, and then Nashville with Paul, and then Ravenna, Nebraska, June 11th through the 12th, and then Fayette and Paris the Father's Day weekend, and then Toma at the end of the month, and then we'll just see how it goes. So, but I don't, like I said, I'm not the only one waiting for parts. From what I heard.
Absolutely not. And tractor pulling is not the only sport that's waiting on parts. Also, I think I showed you a tweet there from Kenny Wallace. That when we were out in Dubuque together, that he's got an engine builder that waiting on numerous parts as well, just can't get them.
Yeah, I don't know how. I know Charles was at that Ottawa drag race this past weekend. I don't know if Charles, did you have normal numbers or less numbers for competitors?
Competitors less but only because this style of racing is the creation of the Canadians and the border's closed. So we had 68 trucks register. 12 of them were Canadian. I'm not going to go into how they got here, but they did.
They swam, Charles. They swam the river.
Yeah, but if this had been a normal year, there probably would have been 100 there, honestly.
Yeah.
I know they went to Mexico and they crossed our southern border. But anyway.
Yeah, I know of a couple of 85 limited pros that will not be at the show that are waiting on parts. So yeah, there's a few guys still out there waiting on parts. We are starting to see some of them come, just like what Jason was saying. They're starting to move a little bit, but everybody's trying to catch up from all the shutdowns.
Yeah, Colin Burkholtz, him and his dad have that last and he mentioned that they didn't get a chance to dyno, and I have a brand new motor from the bottom up, guys. So I'm gonna get put back together, and we're gonna go to the dyno. It's not like we just changed 4 or 5 pistons or whatever, like I did a couple summers ago. It seems like every other run. So that's just how it goes. Speaking
of Sauk Rapids, Minnesota,
the
Balsamas won their new chassis to them. They picked up the Real Deer chassis from Justin Wagler. Mike Balsama picked up a win. Was it on Friday night up there at Sauk Rapids, Minnesota?
Yeah, I'm bringing it up right now, Leroy.
Okay.
Because obviously that's my class, and I was paying attention because that's, to me is the biggest. Will the Balsmas make it run like Wagler did? And Balsmas have the money that Wagler does, and I know they're not afraid to get after it. So I think it's going to be a tough piece. So
I'm quite sure that they'll be at Nashville. They always are.
Yep.
Always a good time after the show with them. They good bunch of guys.
Yeah. In case if you're ever hungry at a tractor pull, go find the special edition and limited edition John Deere trailers.
Yes.
You will not starve. They're the greatest guys in the world.
No, you will not.
Did you guys hear anything of any feedback? Was Brent or Ryan up there for that deal?
So Brent was up there, Charles, and I was kind of trying to follow along on some of his posts. He had some of the polling groups. Sounds like the track was really hard Friday night, Charles, but it's a legitimate racetrack. I know Brent was going to try to get on tonight.
Yeah.
The crowd looked really good Saturday night in the pictures that I saw. Sunday didn't look as full, but I would like to ask Brent that. Looks like Brett Berg just laid the wood to everybody in the mod class. Holy crap.
And that was one of the two things I wanted to bring up about the event that stood out. He did, but the trend behind him was for triple engines. And I was curious for feedback from people feet on the ground there, how the GN season is going to play out for the mod class of NTPA, because it seems like there's a lot of interest on the 1471 3-motor combo, and including a lot of guys. There's a few of them in that list who are light unlimiteds that jumped up with a third motor in the kicker spot and run mods. I just wanted to see what the scuttlebutt was in the pit area on that particular topic.
Yeah, Brent. I know Brent will know if he jumps on. So Brent was in Mondovi yesterday. Brent did the full tour. He was all 4 days, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and he was in Taylor, Wisconsin today, Charles. They have a really big brush pull. There's a bunch of mini rods and stuff like that. So, I've always kind of felt like the unlimited class, Charles, and the NTPA really is where you'd see the big names like we're used to seeing. But the mod class, as well. I mean, you said it exactly. It's got him on here, Moneymaker. He won by 30 feet both nights. And Killmeyer's double trouble, that's 3. Pack Rat 4. I don't know. I don't think I'm not making fun of Christensen's, but that's not the same quality of mod as the Grand National.
Unless he made changes. I mean, I'm trying to remember from Rockwell last year if he had Hemis on it. That was traditionally always a Chevy motor combo for him.
Because he runs a lot of state stuff, but I don't know. We'll just have to kind of see and really. Brent would be the guy because I know he's in the pits talking to people and doing different things like that. I mean, I see Jeff Rose on there, Giddy Up. Obviously, that's normally an unlimited tractor. We see
they run it as a mod with a triple, and then they'll convert it to quads for unlimited.
Yep.
Tom Owens, the Thorn, that was a brand new tractor for them to have out there, and it scratched both nights. I'm not sure what the issue was. Beautiful machine.
So. Yeah, Brent hasn't jumped on yet. I'd asked him to get on for the back of the show for that. But this was the first Grand National, right? Benson was the first Champions Tour, right, Leroy?
That's correct.
Okay. And then now this is our first NTPA one. I didn't see a lot of chatter about this one, like really on social media anywhere or anywhere.
It was honestly a black hole. I don't know why.
Kind of snuck up. And
I think Angry Farmers swept the weekend too, didn't they?
Yeah.
Dugan did, yes. And to be fair, he didn't have a whole lot of competition, but he did.
Yeah.
I was curious. The other one I was curious about, they only ran the Super Farm on Friday night, and Greg Ratz was in there with their 66 series, and maybe you guys know this. It's painted in Cub Cadet colors. I'm wondering if that was the Super Stock they had, or they have a second tracker now at the Super Farm.
So there was a Cub Cadet Diesel Super, right? I think they pulled with the Outlaws, or was that NTPA?
They did a little bit of both. It was an ag chassis machine, and it was the Ratz brothers that had it. So, and now they're showing up as a Super Farm. I'm kind of curious if it's the same machine or if they got a second one now.
Yeah, I got 6th place on Friday night. I don't know. was there a state hook? I mean, Brent is typically my WTPA superstar with all this stuff. I don't think there was a state hook. I know Jordan, Minnesota's coming up this next weekend, Charles, for them, but I don't know why, because they ran Super Farms Friday or Saturday night, and then they ran the Light Pros on Saturday night. So
yeah.
But typically that's pretty much your state guys normally. I'm looking at all the names. Deck usually runs Grand National with his, but he had his limited pro there, the one bad apple.
Yep.
Schulte's always run hard. Mitch Fain, yeah. And Jeff Martin's always tough. So, I mean, that would have been a good class of Super Farms. But I really don't see any of the Grand National names there except for maybe Deck. So.
Yeah, you're like John Silsby or
all those Michigan guys up by Charles.
Right.
Well, and for the Super Farm guys out there, though, it was only Region 3. So, the Michigan guys probably weren't going to travel out. That wasn't unexpected.
Yeah, no, I'm not picking on the track or anything like that. I've built crappy tracks here at Richland Center, day tracks and different things like that. But I do want to show you the video of Burkholtz are very good friends of mine, and Colin's on the show right now, and I wanted to show you his pass. He just posted the video. Let me bring it up here. I'll find that from Saturday night. The Light Pros, Charles, went 286, 285, 284 in the top three, and Burkholtz's were in third.
I want to make a comment about Colin's comment right there. For many, 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 many years, Illinois State Fair was always pulled in front of the main grandstand. They would not allow us to prepare the track the way a tractor-pull track should be because of the horse races.
Okay.
Because that track was golden to them for their damn horse races.
Yep.
It wasn't until we moved to the new venue in the southwest corner of the property of the Illinois State Fair to the rodeo arena, which we have a beautiful pulling facility now. If anyone has never, if you haven't been to the Illinois State Fair, tractor and truck pulls now, that we've got a fantastic track, Paul. Don't you agree? And the lighting and the
yes, yeah, they put that over there, and it I think it was the best thing they could have done. It's very, from the stands down to the track, it looks like a big kind of, you're like way up in the air, but there's not a bad seat in the house. The track is always good. All of the haulers are right there where you can see them down on the other side of the track. So yes, it's a great place to pull.
Don't you guys have pulling there like every day?
For 3 days.
3 days.
Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday.
So
Yep.
Here is let's watch Colin's run. Now,
Yeah.
So for those of you not familiar, 8,500 pounds, 540 cubic inch. What's the turbo rule now, guys? 4.5?
4.5.
Okay. So these tractors, I'm just going to ballpark it 2,800 horse. So this is Colin Burkholtz. This is a tractor that's been at Louisville. This is one of the tough ones in the nation. So you can see him really having a hard time getting hooked up.
Got it one wheel bad.
Yeah. He's got a hold of nothing. And then it'll grab. There it went. Yeah. And those guys can get some serious wheel speed. Those light pros. Those light pros, man, when they get going, I mean, they're just screaming. And once they let them loose, they're trying to dig into that track, and you could tell and you could hear it. He was one wheeling bad.
That's the hardest thing in the world to do on a black dirt track like that. Try to feather that thing for 150 feet or whatever. And then that's how I smoked my Charger down in Monroe in August of 2019. That shaft broke and the guillotine shut. And that's why I have a brand new motor. And it's so hard to wait because that dirt just gets hard. And I don't know if they were earlier in the class or different things like that, but and that's the thing. I don't want to, like, we're ripping on the track because, hey, this is the promoter that put up 50, 60 grand to have that show for 2 nights, right? When I look at those classes and the crowd was full, but at the same time, it's hard. It's for a mixed use track like that, especially when you bring in high horsepower. Now, like a 20,000 pound semi, well, you got 20,000 pounds. They're gonna hook and get. You know what I mean? So it's been there, done that. So, but he did a nice job. It is what it is, and he didn't blow it up. So life is good. My dog's barking. Their sirens going off. They must be chasing. Zolik must be in town. I don't have a lot else, guys. I just feel like pulling season's here. I went live on Instagram and everything this morning, and I'm trying to really highlight any pulls that people are putting up on our Facebook page or on our groups. We really need to support these promoters and fill these stands. And if we can't be there, we need to buy these live streams, because after last year, and I think Charles will attest to this, and so will Paul and Leroy, it made a lot of promoters think about, is pulling part of their future plans, at their venue. And if the stands aren't full, guys, I mean, numbers don't lie, and that's what it comes down to. So
around here, the answer seems to be yes, it is part of the plans. So because I'm not seeing events drop off. So
no, I'm not either, and I'm not trying to be negative. I don't want that to happen. But fans need to understand that they need to be there.
Yes,
that's what pays the bills.
Yeah. And now that things are open, you got to spin those turnstiles and come out.
Yeah. Yep. And if you can't be there and they offer a live stream, whether it be on Mav TV Plus or whatsmoking.net or however you can do a live stream, if you have to purchase that, it's the same as, supporting the pull by going there. So if you can't do that, and the good thing about those is everybody's like, oh, you don't go to a pull and you don't have to buy $4 beers or whatever. Get a couple guys together, get your smart TVs in the shop. Everybody throw in $5, order it, and drink all the beer you want. And you don't have to go if you don't want to make the drive or whatever. But it's still a good way to support the polls.
Well, we've been saying, these live streams are going to be a big part of the future of polling for families that can't be there and stuff like that. You see Derek Bargie's got a 12-year-old or a 12-day-old child. Obviously, his wife isn't coming to the polls for a while, but she still wants to watch her husband compete and her family, and that's what makes the live streams great like that. But I would say 5 years, is that too far to go back, guys, and say that nobody bought a live stream? I mean, I try to buy every live stream I can now. I mean, I was looking all over the internet for that NTPA one Saturday and Sunday night because I wanted to watch the limited pros. I wanted to see how Bausma's chassis did, and I want to see the upgrades that everybody made this year. You know what I mean? And you can't, obviously you go to the results right away and you look and see, but over time you really see who's going to, the cream's going to rise to the top. But it's just good to see pulling again. And, Leroy, Ron and I started that show. I invited you on Tuesday night. We're going to call it Outlawed with Ron Stone. We're going to do a live on Tuesday night to kind of recap the Outlaw weekend and what's coming up. And, there were still 2,500 people in Dubuque that Saturday night when we were down there. Mm-hmm. Honestly, it didn't look like 1,200, but that's such a big facility, Leroy, and people were spread out. And to have 2,500 people there, Leroy, with basically a drizzle an hour before showtime, I was pretty pleased with that. So I don't know, like Charles, if you've been to UCC looked packed.
It was.
Ottawa, I don't know what the drag races are like, but every poll
it was
I've been to, guys, has been great.
Did anyone?
They were so backed up on the county road getting into that show on Saturday. It was a 2.5 hour wait to get in on Saturday morning. We were full.
Good.
Did anyone watch the Lucas Oil dirt racing on Saturday night? The Show Me 100 from Wheatland, Missouri.
I saw it on Facebook, Leroy, but I didn't.
Oh my goodness! I mean that was standing room only. The grandstands was packed. The way that they did the driver introductions, they had Lee Greenwood there. They flew Lee Greenwood in Wheatland, Missouri to sing "God Bless the USA." I mean, it was incredible.
The appetite that seems to be out there right now on the spectator side is insane, and the year off, quote unquote, the early season events I've been to, and none of them been pulling. It's been other sides of motorsports, but from what I'm seeing, even in the pulling side, guys took the year off, and this step change from 2019 to 2021 is gonna be insane. How much the sport has advanced. We're gonna get to August and look back and go, "Oh my God, we jumped. We didn't just advance the sport a year. We advanced it 3. That's how far the development looks like it's gone this early." Good.
Well, and the promoters, I mean, try not to run out of food and beer. I know that sounds simple, but it's hard too to go because I've promoted our own events for 10 years, and the weather. Oh, makes you want to cry sometimes. You can have a beautiful day and then something pops up at 4:30 in the afternoon, especially this time of year. Derek mentioned that a little bit earlier on there, but it's nice to see a nice forecast for this coming weekend. Charles, what do you got coming up on your announcing schedule for polling? I know it's a polling show, and we always tap you a little bit for all your other stuff, but what's going on with polling?
This coming weekend would have been the Thumb Tractor Pulling Association's opening weekend, and they had to cancel for COVID reasons. I talked about it before. They were not granted their food permit from the county because of COVID precautions, and they were not given their liquor license by the state. So it went down. And what it ultimately did for me personally is it opened up a week of nothing because, and I'm gonna take it. That's awesome because after this, I go on the road for 18 weeks and never stop. So I'm gonna take it and spend it with my kids and not do anything.
Good. Did anybody see did Brandenburg, Kentucky? Looked like Thurston went down there. Did the crowd look good down there?
I never saw any shots of the crowd. Looked like they had a good turnout of iron. So
they did have a good crowd. Anna Galloway was down there, and
that's right.
There's some good pictures showing the crowd. They look like they had a good turnout.
Anna and Alan left early because Anna said she got cold.
Oh boy,
she did.
You know what? She was supposed to come up. You were supposed to be at Onaway, Anna. I missed you.
Yeah, she said that they left with 2 classes to go. She says because it was so cold. So.
That's a terrible thing in May.
I know,
but it was cold. It was plenty chilly.
So Charles has the weekend off this coming weekend. Paul's going to be in Nashville, Illinois. Leroy's going to be in Fort Recovery, Ohio. Leroy
Paul's already in Nashville.
I know.
Paul's been in Nashville for 2 weeks.
And Leroy,
yes.
What's the crowd they get at that Fort Recovery? It's got to be big, right?
I've never been to Fort Recovery. This is going to be my first.
Charles, is it a big one?
I was supposed to go 2 years ago to do the live stream. Okay, it got rained out. Then I was supposed to go last year to do the live stream and got canceled by COVID. So this will be my 3rd attempt to make it to Fort Recovery.
Oh man, if they get a crowd there, it's going to be awesome because it's an intimate facility. It's all real tight and condensed on the track. You got the grandstand on the southeast side, and it's right up to the track, and then the other side is all that natural green hillside from those photos from 40 years ago. Even it's all still there, and it'll be full of people, and the atmosphere there is. I would say if you could take Bowling Green and like shrink wrap it. That's Fort Recovery. It's awesome. You'll enjoy it.
I think Saturday morning I might try to drive over to Rossburg to go to Eldora Speedway. I've never been there.
It's 10 minutes away. Yeah, right. Do it.
Exactly. That's the reason. I was looking at the map mapping myself how to get from Sydney, Illinois to Fort Recovery, Ohio, and I'm like, oh shoot, there's Rossburg, Ohio, Eldora Speedway. Yeah. I think I know what I'm going to do on Saturday morning when I wake up.
Yeah.
I know I live in Richland Center. Boscobel, Wisconsin has a WTPA pull this weekend. That's just south of me. Looks like Badger State. Colin just mentioned Badger State's going off in Leaf River. I've been to that one when I had my hot farm. I know they have that's like an FFA, guys, like the Leaf River FFA does a good job with that. So that's pretty neat. So
Leroy, there's an ITPA hook this Saturday, is there not?
There is. I'm glad you said that, Paul. The Macon County Fair and Decatur, Illinois. Macon County Fair used to be an ITPA hook for years and years and years, and then they switched to another pulling organization. Well, they were switching back to ITPA last year and got canceled due to COVID. So we will be at when I say we, the Illinois Tractor Pulling Association. I won't be there personally, but the ITPA kicks off its season Saturday night in Decatur, Illinois at the Macon County Fair.
Okay.
And I know 2 wheel-drive trucks are going to be there, so I need to talk with Jeremy and Misty. I don't know if they're going to go to Decatur for the points hook, for the state points hook, or if they're going to – I would say they're probably going to go to Decatur rather than to Fort Recovery, since I shouldn't say just a Midwest region hook, but I would say they're probably going to stay home and go to Decatur, Illinois.
I think their schedule on their page said that they were going to Decatur, but I know that there's them and the 4-1s.
I'm pulling it up right now. I'm pulling it up right now as we speak.
Yeah, because I know there was some of them that were potentially going to be in Nashville. They're going to Decatur and pull there. I know Rogiers are going to be in Decatur.
Yeah, 58 mods, 5,800 pound modified, 6,200 pound two-wheel drive trucks, the 7,800 pound pro stock diesel trucks, and then the 9,500 pound limited pro stocks, the 4-1s. So you got two carryover or crossover classes there. You know, you get your 7,800 pro stock diesel trucks, which, you know, Ingrams would normally be there, but I think Ingrams are going to be in Nashville, and then also the 4-1s. So,
So yeah, it started like Jason said. It's, you know, I don't want to say it kind of snuck up on us, but now, like this weekend, we've been seeing a lot of stuff. Just, you know, you start seeing the social media feeds and everything, and it's happening. It's happening.
Yeah, one that Adam brought up, Wagler Motorsports Park. They're going to have that show going on there, and if you were at SDX in the fall, you aren't going to recognize the place. Jeremy's trucked in a whole. I think he's raised the entire track like another foot with more clay to make it better. And rumor has it, if you remember at UCC, the Wagler shop truck, the Chevy bodied 2-wheel drive with a screw blown Duramax. Well, they wrecked their screw blown Duramax dragster in a testing crash a month ago. The motor came out of the dragster. It's going back in the 2-wheel drive. And rumor has it you're going to get to see a screw-blown diesel Duramax 2-wheel drive exhibition pass at Wagler this coming weekend.
Here's some pictures of the track, guys.
Yeah.
I'm curious to see how this does, because last year at the Shy Diesel Extravaganza, Rob Russell on Saturday night, he was one of them that he got off to that right side, and the track just, I mean, it looked like it exploded under his tires. And I guess that's kind of a sandy area, so I assume that some of that sand was coming in. But there was talk then that they were going to bring more clay in. And if he brought that much clay in, it's going to be an altogether different track. And it's going to be one hell of a hooking track.
Atwood, Tennessee, guys, Robert Danner, he's been messaging on tonight. That's this weekend as well. NTP Grand National. That's straight west of Nashville. I just looked it up on the map. Looks like maybe 45 minutes to an hour west of Nashville. So good to see Poland get going down there as well. Shore Fight, he said better track in Nashville than Decatur. So, of course he'd say that.
He's a homer, but yeah, they haven't, like I said, they haven't opened up the track after the shootout. They covered everything up. They sowed wheat in there. Try to get some of that organic matter in the track. They haven't opened it up. The water was basically just beating off of it. They were afraid to open it up, but I'm sure that this week it will get opened up. And we have a small chance of rain on Wednesday, but other than that, everything looks great. They've been doing some improvements on the facility side. So if you got any questions, like I said, if you're coming in early on the 4th, and you can come in basically all night long. The gates will be locked, but there are people on site that will open them for you. So if you want to drive straight through, or you want to drive and come in the morning, haulers can get in there. They're not opening the gates to the public until noon, but the haulers can come in anytime. And like I said, you're going to turn what looks like into the dealership, and you just keep coming straight back. They'll have guys on side-by-sides back there trying to get everybody parked in there as neatly as they can, but there's plenty of room. Great facility, so I hope to see everybody out there. I'm pretty excited. It's going to be a hell of a show. I can't wait to see these light supers. I've been watching some Facebook. The Case tractors out of is it Nebraska?
Yeah,
Kansas. Elmer and them, they're coming. Yep.
Big Temptation or Little Temptation?
Yes.
What's the name of that dealership?
It's Elmer's.
I'm talking about Nashville, where you turn off the route.
Oh, Holzhauer's.
Oh, is that why they call it the track at Holzhauer's?
The track at Holzhauer's, because yes, it's literally right behind, and it's right behind the car dealership. Funny thing about that is if you're out there in the pits and you're walking around and you're bringing the haulers in, don't be surprised if you see some golf balls. Way back when Brad started this whole thing, Brad loves to golf, and there used to be a driving range back there. So you can occasionally, if you get far enough back, you might find a golf ball that's kind of come up out of the dirt. But yeah, it was a golf ball driving range, and then it turned into a motocross track, and now it's a pulling track because, of course, it's home of 618 Motorsports as well. So
Centralia, Kansas, Gier says. As we're center home from. Here's the track at Holzhauer's Facebook page, guys. So
Yep.
we'll give that a like and a follow. So.
And their latest post on there, of course, is about Memorial Day. So before we conclude our broadcast tonight, I think that we ought to recognize the fact that today is Memorial Day. I do a lot of the social media for ITPA. One of the things that I posted today, I don't even know where I found this, but this is pretty touching. It says Armed Forces Day. Let me put my glasses on. Armed Forces Day is for those that are still in their uniform. Veterans Day is for those who hung up their uniform, and Memorial Day is for those who never made it out of their uniform. So that's pretty damn powerful.
Yes, it is. That's the reason we're able to do what we're going to be doing this weekend.
I have a veteran buddy. He served his 20 years. He started a business. He's making, I don't know if you guys saw it earlier. I bought a couple of flags from him, and he came in today and we talked about Memorial Day a little bit and what it means. And so Churning Dirt was the name of the event here in Richland Center that we promoted. He's a hometown guy. We sent him a bunch of Churning Dirt stickers, and they put them on missiles and put them on the things. They put them on the sides of their tanks and stuff. And he says no more sticker because he swears people just shot at him just on purpose because he had stickers on the side of it. So he said we can't do that anymore. So I thought that was kind of funny. So
yeah,
but
great show tonight, guys. I thought Derek knocked it out of the park. I just wish his internet signal was just a little bit better. But
yeah, Derek, I love having. I think a lot of people don't realize that usually an event has a pulling family behind it. Typically, I think Charles will agree with what the stuff he sees as well. I think it's good to show that side of it. Speaking of that, what do we got next Monday? Do we have Mike Miller coming on, Leroy, next Monday?
Yeah, Mike said he can come on anytime. Also, like I said, John and Leslie Mears, they said that anytime, just say the word. So
yeah.
If you want me to line up Mr. Mike Miller, ITPA president, we can do that.
Yeah, I think we do that. I was checking our Google spreadsheet. I'll try to have on the gentleman that runs Ravenna, Nebraska for the Outlaws. Charles, what do you have the 11th and 12th? Do you have a promoter you can bring on?
Yeah, I'll see if I can get up the guys from the Thumb Tractor Pulling Association because that next week we're going to go into what will now be their season opener. So
okay, I just really like when we're going to be somewhere like wherever Leroy's going or wherever you're going, Charles, try to bring your promoter on for 10 or 15 minutes. I mean, we can break it down into shorter segments. Like when we have somebody like Derek with a 50-year heritage, obviously we want to spend some time on that. But come in, do a good event coverage for 10 or 15 minutes with the person that's going to be there. I'm going to always try to have the ones where once my tractor's running, where I'm going to be heading. I'd like to, spread a spotlight on that as well.
And I'll hit some guys up this weekend and see if I can line up maybe some pullers.
Yep. What did Clark say? Please line up Mike. Okay.
Yep.
Leroy will do that. So, well, guys, great show. Leroy, thanks again for getting Derek. Paul, thanks for covering Nashville. And, Charles and I are here for moral support as always. So it's all good.
Good deal.
I'm going to play that. I'm going to play the Fort Recovery commercial, and then I'm going to end her, guys. Okay.
Sounds good.
Take care. Good luck, Paul.
Yep. Thank you.
Leroy.
All right, see you. Take care, guys.
See ya.
The sounds of battle are approaching. The machinery roaring, ground shaking, fire exploding mayhem of the Lucas Oil Pro Pulling League is set to erupt for the Battle at the Fort. Be there for all the action June 4th and 5th for the Battle at the Fort at Fort Recovery Ambassador Park in Fort Recovery, Ohio. Watch the best pulling drivers in the nation go to war on the track with all the dirt slinging action of the Champions Tour classes. Tickets are just $22. Kids 11 and under are free. For more info, call 419-852-4361 or visit FortPool.com.